decided I'm going to let you guys ride along with me as I reflect on Mario Kart Tour. So, as of last night, because first of all, I'm posting this video unedited, because I kind of want you guys to kind of, just ride along with me and kind of reminisce here. I'm editing a video right now. I got about 75% done with the video. You guys will see it this week. But in parts of that video, I mentioned the fact that Mario Kart Tour is pretty much stopping development to an extent. Basically, they're going to stop pushing out new content for the game. The game's been nearly out for 4 years, and for 4 straight years, every 2 weeks, they have pumped out content after content after content, whether it be a new track, a new set of characters, new set of carts, new set of gliders, and even newer Mii suits in the recent year and a half. Every 2 weeks, that game has brought on a lot of new content that you don't really see in a Mario Kart game. I've been a player since day one. I remember downloading it day one, and I was one of those few people that really questioned if this game would work or not. I had to go through an adjustment, doing the driving with just the tap of a finger instead of a controller, which what I've been used to for many, many, many years. Of course, at the time, it was 2019. We were probably about 2.5 years removed from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe being out on the Nintendo Switch. And I was pretty much at that point, I wouldn't say I was done with the game, but I was playing it less and less, because basically with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it was just, the same old Mario Kart 8 game that I was used to playing on the Wii U, but just a little bit enhanced, which I kind of liked. It kind of got me back into Mario Kart 8 for a little bit, and basically I was ready for something new. So again, I mentioned it was kind of a change going from controller to just being on my phone, and it was a rough first couple weeks, I will admit. It was definitely different than what I was used to. They had a scoring system. They had new frenzy options, kind of like a roulette style, and you get like 3 in a row, and you get all crazy, and you get to attack left and right. Kind of, I feel like, it's a casino. In my first opinion, it was like a casino version of Mario Kart. And it was a little weird, but I ended up getting used to it, and I know a lot of people that tried it out that first week was like, alright, this is stupid. I'm gonna drop this. But me as a Mario Kart fan, I couldn't really do that. So I kept pushing. The game had its, obviously had its rough starts. But after about a year in, that's when it really started to shine. And it wasn't really apparent until after we experienced visiting lots of different cities. I remember at the time it was Tokyo, and Paris, and London, Vancouver as well. Trying to remember at the top of my head. And New York. Yeah, I think those were like the first 5 cities that were featured in Mario Kart Tour. And at that time, it was kind of surreal. Like, this is kind of a cool idea to bring Mario around the world. I remember going a little bit off topic. I remember growing up as a kid, and I played a racing game besides Mario Kart 64, which again was my first Mario Kart experience. It was actually my first video game experience for a bit. But besides that, I also tried out a game. It was called Mickey Speedway USA. I don't know if you guys remember that game, but it was kart racing, and it took place across many cities across the United States. And I absolutely loved that game. I think it was actually one of my guilty pleasures as a child. And kind of, in playing through Mario Kart Tour and playing through some of these city tracks, kind of brought me back a little bit to those days as a child playing that specific game. And so that right there kind of kept me going as far as, wanting to see all this new content pump out every 2 weeks and such. Always the unknown variable of like, oh, what's coming next? And that was great about Mario Kart Tour, is they really kept you hooked. There, especially with them pumping out new content week after week, basically for every 2 weeks. And I had a lot of fun with it. So much fun. But then COVID hit. And I think that was kind of a turning point for Mario Kart Tour, in my opinion. The game was going so well, and then production kind of slowed down a little bit. They still kept putting out some sort of new content here and there, but it was kind of slowed down. It got to a point where, like, new tracks weren't coming out as often as we had hoped, but they had so many of these, like, ideas of just throwing alternate costumes out to some of these characters and kind of building that roster. Before we knew it, on the tail end of the pandemic, we had over 100 costumes for characters. We had over 100 different types of karts to drive. We also had over 100 gliders. And it was just like, even though the pandemic kind of slowed production down as far as what they wanted, they still kept it fresh, and that's what I kind of liked about the game. Obviously, gameplay aside and all that, obviously it's not the best. I wouldn't really consider this game the best Mario Kart, not by a long shot. But it was always there to just keep me playing week after week, especially with its ranked cup system that it had, where basically you attempt a cup, try and score as many points as you can in a week period, and at the end of the week, if you're top the leaderboards, you kind of get split up into different groups depending on your tier level, depending on your skill level. You make it to the top of your own ranked group, and you win in-game currency, coins, rubies. You also win some nice little tickets to help kind of boost your characters. That was also kind of the cool point of Mario Kart Tour, was being able to level up characters using boost tickets. That's what they basically called. I think there was like 3 separate types. You had boost level tickets. You had I think, or 3 different tiers, I should say, for like boost level tickets and like point cap tickets. It's kind of 2 separate aspects, but it's split into 3 different groups. You had the weaker normal set, that was the set of like characters and karts and gliders that were very like more commonly were able to get out of their gacha system before they removed it. And then you had the super set, kind of a set of more popular characters, and that set basically got you higher points. And then of course the high-end set, which are just like rare, unique characters, with absurdly dominant skills for the most part, and those were the types where you had the highest base stat points, highest chance to get frenzies, because frenzies were they were the main part of getting those high scores. The more frenzies you got, the better you had to get a high score. But anyway, I'm kind of done rambling. If you haven't really guessed, I'm just kind of reminiscing on Mario Kart Tour because of the recent announcement that was made earlier this week. Actually, I think it was yesterday. To where Mario Kart Tour is ending production on new content. And it's going to start in October. So, if you guys haven't really seen the post, so basically, there's one more tour coming. It's the 4th year anniversary tour, which means obviously 4 years since Mario Kart Tour first debuted. And it seems like they're going to go out with a bang as best they can. With every anniversary, they always feature the city tracks. That was kind of the highlight, the main gimmick of the game, was being able to race around different cities around the globe. And we've had 14 cities represented in Mario Kart Tour, which is crazy. 14 cities. 14 cities. It was a lot. It was definitely a lot. Sorry, I get sidetracked when I drive, but like I said, this is unedited. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So what? I already mentioned the first 5: Paris, Tokyo, London, Vancouver, and New York. We've also had Los Angeles, Sydney, Australia, Berlin, Germany. Trying to think of the top of my head. Amsterdam, Bangkok, Thailand, Singapore. That was one of my favorites right there. And then recently Athens and Rome and Madrid. Those are the 3 recent ones we've had. It was Athens, Rome, and Madrid. And it's definitely shown I think they've hit the ballpark with some of the cities they represent. I wish they had represented more. I know there's a lot of people within the community that wanted to see places like Rio de Janeiro, maybe Las Vegas. If they want to add more American cities, Las Vegas would be a good one. I know that was definitely a popular one. Egypt, something based on Egypt. I know before we had there was a teaser for Mario Kart which showed a pyramid and a globe, and we were all thinking, oh, we're gonna go to Egypt and see the pyramids. That never happened, unfortunately. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to just think about this game not putting out more content. So, but the game is still gonna go on. It's still gonna live on, which is nice. Real nice, in my opinion. And as far as my reaction to them not pushing out content, I think it's about time. I pay attention to the community and all the data mining and info kind of leaks, that any of the leaks that really come out. I somewhat pay attention to that, and we kind of knew for a bit that this game was getting ready to end. We just had that feeling that the game was going to end. Well, it's not really going to end per se, but new content won't be coming out. It's basically at that point where they're going to go on this sort of repeat cycle, probably over like this last year or 2 years of some of these tours. to kind of keep the longevity of the game going, but I don't know if it's going to last that long, because I know once people start seeing that new content's not coming out, those people kind of like myself, I'm literally considering ending the subscription, since they're not going to be putting out newer content. I don't see myself paying for a subscription anymore if they're not going to be putting out new content. I don't know. I may still keep the app downloaded just to kind of reminisce and play on my phone every once in a while, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm just, as you can tell, I'm kind of indifferent. It is kind of bittersweet to know that this game's on its, pretty much near the end of its life cycle. But this also leaves me very optimistic about the future of Mario Kart, because we are also on the tail end of the Mario Kart 8 DLC, the Booster Course Pass, and just knowing that that's coming to an end and Mario Kart Tour is coming to an end, it gives me hope that we're finally going to get a new console, new installment, like the next installment in Mario Kart Tour. I'm sorry, not Mario Kart Tour. Next installment in the Mario Kart series. So I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Nintendo's got left up their sleeve. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I know there's talks about a new Switch 2 that's going to be announced pretty soon. I mean, I won't hold my breath, but the talks of it are very real. It's seeming like it's gonna be high powered, and I imagine that's when they're gonna take advantage of putting a new Mario Kart game on that system. So but yeah, that's just kind of my overall thoughts about Mario Kart Tour basically coming to an end, per se. So yeah, I just wanted to rant about that. So, I mean, not really rant, but just kind of reminisce. I know this video kind of got off the walls a little bit, but it was on my mind and I wanted to put it into video form. So that's it for me. I'm gonna get back to driving. I'm about 10 minutes away from work, so y'all take care. Just a quick little update again. I got a Splatoon video coming out tomorrow, and then this other video that I'm working on, I'm hoping will go out before the end of this week. And yeah, I will keep you guys informed. Peace.